If you are anything like me, you're always conscious of your position and how you can make your position better. Today, we'll talk about that a bit. Hello, howdy, and how do you do? It is your Akuth Wisdom Simone, and this is my Candid Wisdom. We're going to talk about self improvement. Everybody wants to improve, right? Even if you're in a decent position, appetite of growth is fed by not really being comfortable or content in the place that you are because of desire to be better or see ways that you can be better and feel like you haven't met those potentials, right? So today we're going to talk about self-improvement, some different techniques toward it, and how lucrative of a business it is according to numbers. Because that's what we do: statistics, data. We have our opinions, but let's see what's actually been recorded. Self improvement is the improvement of one's knowledge, status, or character by one's own efforts. I saw another definition, that was Google. I saw another definition that said the acquisition of skills to make you a better person, both personally and professionally. So that's the simple, plain to it. I myself am interested and always interested in self improvement. And I wanted to see what the numbers said about it. So, self improvement is a huge industry. Like, they make money in self improvement because who doesn't want to be better? For whatever reason, some people want to be able to gain knowledge so that they can operate better in life. And then the byproduct of that is the outer success, when the internal motive of it was just for the knowledge, status, maybe to carry yourself or look a certain way, which would be a byproduct of the knowledge if you know how to apply it and be consistent with it. So yeah, it makes plenty of money. But how did it all start as far as being a area of being able to make money off of it? In 1859, Samuel Smiles, who was a failed physician and journalist, he wrote a book simply called Self-Help. And from that, it spawned out into the multi-billion-dollar industry that we know today. When he originally wrote that book, it was rejected from publishing. So he ended up having to self-publish it. And later on, in some other works, he did speeches and things of that nature. In some other works, he gained notoriety to the point he actually ended up meeting someone from the publishing company, and they were so impressed by him that they wanted to publish his book. He informed them that they were also very happy to reject him. So even though initially self-help was not an accepted or popular idea, it grew. Now, he believed that two key factors were important when it came to self-help. Those were environment and your own personal effort. He felt that government should actually be involved in the removing of any environmental situation that caused an individual a great hindrance, because he felt like overall, as everybody does, that the government should have a hand in making your life better and making you a better person. But it doesn't necessarily work that way. Whole nother show. Fun fact about this guy. You know Bear Grylls, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Bear versus Wild, the adventurer. Well, Samuel Smiles is his great great grandfather. How about that? Now, when it comes to the industry today, who do you think, type it in the chat, tell your neighbor, who do you think partakes in self-help more, men or women? Give you a little time. All right. If you said men, you were incorrect. Men actually hold the majority position when it comes to actual producers of self-help materials. Speakers and authors, for the most part, are going to be men when it comes to self-help and self-improvement. And the people that consume it the most when it comes to gender are women. Just to show you how much money is in this for these men. Their salaries, if you're like just a public speaker, motivational speaker type situation, I guess doing events and stuff like that on a lower level, your pay scale is noted to start. This is start at about $106,000 a year. Now, if you're on a professional scale, like businesses and career type stuff, you start at about $217,000. Now, the thing about the self-help industry that I found interesting, and it trickles into like internet now, because the internet gives everyone access to spread their opinion. That's how you're listening to me now. Even though I present facts, I still give you my opinion and experience on those facts. And if you agree with me, you pass that to someone else. And they pass that to someone else if they agree also. And that idea spreads and grows and becomes a quote unquote truth. If it works, right? So with that, there is no governing of self-help. Opinion is just that. And if you're articulate enough and you have a decent head on your shoulders, you can make some decent pay just by talking and knowing things. But men are taking advantage of this industry more than women are. Women actually like to sit and hear men tell them how they should be. That is very interesting. Looking at these numbers, because if you take that same situation and kind of slide it over to relationship, like a lot of men will feel like women don't listen to them. But if you look at self-improvement, that's all that women are listening to. Men, very few men look into self-help materials. Some of the stuff I saw said virtually no men buy self-help audiobooks. So it's women that are buffeting on self-improvement, looking to be better individuals. Now, the overall worth of self-help in 2019 was 11.6 billion, and it's projected to be 14 billion by 2025. So it's money in self-help. There are 75 million noted global consumers, supposedly, of self-help materials. 75% of them are surveyed to be millennials, which I think it was last episode we found out millennials were people that were born between the early 80s and the late 90s. Now, of all of these women that we're going to believe are millennials, because 75% is a big chunk, and obviously as well, they'll be between like what, 40 and 50. So now, of the 75 million global, majority of the people or women that indulge in self-help information or self-improvement information are women from the east and west coast of the United States. I don't know why I found that weird, because like, what's going on in the middle? What they know in the center of the United States that don't make them seek it as much? Maybe I can say this. I know that a lot of, and I just kind of thought about this now, because I'm thinking of places like, and I know this is random, like Utah, Mississippi. Those are still like outskirt parts of the perimeter of the country, or closer to the perimeter of the country, because I'm thinking about places like Michigan and stuff like that. But I think that those areas are more industrious, maybe, because like anyone that I can think of on average, as far as like the overall idea of the areas like, let's say, East and West Coast, these people kind of pride themselves on intellect. And I don't necessarily think I can think of anyone from like a central area that kind of has that mind. They're more kind of skilled in life versus education, if that makes sense. So I could see that now, but I just found that very interesting. 62.5% of women account for self-help book readers. Men, like I said, they say they rarely buy them. But I guess 30-something% is not necessarily rare, but still not as likely as a woman. When it comes to self-help, there are different aspects of self-help. Like if you go to a holistic doctor, they address different parts of you, your spirit, your outer environment, like all of that is taken into account when dealing with your health. So same goes with self-improvement. The top 3 aspects of self-improvement are confidence, careers and interviews, and motivation. Now, although many people believe that the source of their personal problems is stress, less than 1% of people seek self-improvement for stress management. For self-improvement in stress management, there are a few different categories of that within itself. You got exercise, which is common. People say it all the time, like if you're feeling stressed, go take a walk. Or just regular exercise releases endorphins and things of that nature. I'm not going to get into it because I can't remember all that stuff. But basically, there is a reaction literally within your body that balances hormones and does all of that. It like jumpstarts your body into balance just by getting up and moving. And with life being as it is, everything feels so press, go, get it. You really, some people don't. They'll say, myself included, they don't have the time to exercise when it's probably not you don't have the time to exercise. This is something that I consider, right? If there are any changes in your professional life, if you're a person that doesn't exercise or walk regularly, if you have something going in your professional life that's not like on schedule, regular situation, basically you open yourself up to a random schedule, you can make time for exercise. As I said, me included. I used to take walks. So some of these facts that I found are interesting to me because I can attest to them myself. When it comes to exercise and self improvement, 97 million Americans hold weight loss as a major goal. And weight loss makes up for $3.7 billion of the self improvement industry. Now, when it comes to gym and fitness and all industries, gym and fitness is kind of low. It's at 269, but it still generates over $37 billion. I did not look to see who was number one, but if 269 is 37 billion, golly. I thought about New Year's resolutions. Like when I used to go to the gym on a regular basis, like I used to be a gym rat when I was younger. I used to love the gym. I would wake up like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And I just do that normal anyway. Throughout my life, I've always just kind of woke up in the middle of the night. But during that span of my life, if that happened and I couldn't go back to sleep, I just go to the gym. I used to love going to the gym. I got one of my sisters and I, we used to always refer to October body, like, because during that time I just was always in the gym. But there would be the people that would come for New Year's resolution, and you'll see all these extra people to come the beginning of the Gregorian year, and by February, a lot of them would be gone. So I've been caught up in that myself, even, but I can see that, especially since now there's more of an awareness of health. I'm not sure, was it Michelle Obama? It's funny how it seems like each generation, when it comes to education, they have like a focus that they promote. And for my generation, it was DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. And we had all of this DARE stuff and say no to drugs, and this is your brain on drugs. And I think with the Obamas, it was health, because I remember seeing Michelle doing like stuff with kids. And so, yeah. So health is and exercise is something that people focus on even if they do it inconsistently. The fitness equipment industry is projected to grow about 15.2 billion from 11.5 billion that was noted in 2019, and they account that to the growing health awareness. Now, something else that is good for stress management for some people is travel. And there are a group of people called intrepid travelers. These are millennials who think that travel is important for self-improvement. Now, 42% of those prefer to travel when it's based on physical or mental health improvement. So remember Samuel Smiles, his 2 factors in self-help were environment and then your own effort. So exercise would be your own effort. You would have to get out there and exercise. You would have to get out there and exercise. But travel is self-effort too, in the sense of calling it travel. And really, in any environment, you would have to position yourself for the environment ideal to you being the optimal you that you can be, right? So I guess all of it kind of circles back around to self effort. But a study that was published in the Global Environment Change Journal, volume 23, issue 5, it found, and I can completely agree with this, that individuals with coastal access reflected a better health and overall mindset than inland dwellers. I will say this: being someone that has lived on the shore and now being someone that is surrounded by trees, I definitely say that when you live by water, I'm a person that just likes the outdoors, but if you add water, you cannot keep me away. And so I was more active because it just always felt nice to just go out and reflect and look at the water and relax. You could go in those areas and meditate, which is our next section. It just gave you a space to just kind of be free. And that water was just like, it was great. But a lot of people I know more so now are into meditation. And so, what is meditation? Now, there are different ways to meditate, but the word meditate itself, the root of the word, I found very interesting in contrast to the actual action of what's suggested to do to meditate. What I've been instructed anyway, and seen different videos and my own self improvement, self help journey, was basically you sit somewhere really quiet and you focus on like one sound and don't think about anything else. Hold your mind to that one sound or that one, it's usually a sound they tell you to pull out of the room or of where you are. Or if you've ever done the meditation apps, it's listen to my voice and follow my voice and don't think about anything else. So the funny part is meditate is to actually think. That's what the word means. Think over, reflect, consider. So that was funny to me. But in meditation, the benefit of it is just kind of giving your brain a rest. As you focus on that one sound or on that voice, you kind of just train your mind to be at your command. Like, no, I'm not thinking about that. I'm going to focus on this. And that's just a general practice of life, really, so that you can keep a continual mindset to what it is that you're focused on, that you feel will help you with that self-improvement. Now, 76% of meditators said that meditation actually did improve their overall health. And people say that meditating for as little as 5 minutes a day actually have rendered some decent results. 60% of people reported that it's increased their energy. 50% of people said that it's improved their memory. And of course, more women meditate than men. Now, when it comes to nationalities, who do you think meditates more? Out of quote unquote white individuals and melanated individuals, 15.2% of white individuals meditate, in contrast to the 13.5% of melanated. Now, this industry, meditation, is expected to double in 2022. It was noted to have 1.2 billion. So by this year, they feel like they should have made at least $2 billion or increased the value of that industry into $2 billion. Now, remember the apps that I mentioned earlier, not included in that revenue are those apps. The top 10 in 2019 generated $195 million. That's a lot of money to literally teach people to sit down and not think. Interesting. So there are plenty of ways for self-improvement, but it's just a matter of what we decide that we want to do, what it is that we can hold on to consistently, what plan we can lay out and execute to get where we need to be and be the people that we need to be. As for Samuel Smiles' book, when he first released it, within the first year, he sold over 20,000 copies. At his death in 1904, he sold over 250,000. So with self-improvement, sometimes the process is slow and we don't see the results that we like, but consistency is key so that we can make sure that the improvements that we want, we actually see, and that we have the proper parameters in place to make sure that we are managing stress and taking care of ourselves so that we are our best selves, to be our best selves, if that makes sense. We just have to take it one day at a time. Now it's time for Zamar. Today we will be capping everything off with I Can't Lose by Bang Q'dash Boogie. Hold up. Grab the broom. Clean your log. Now resume. Who to trust when the dust fill the room? Be my eyes, be my guide through the gloom. Thoughts got me in a pit, no Nakoon. Will I ever get up out it? So much doubt got me consumed. When I feel I'm out the muck, Sparta kick back in that tune. Y'all, if this is where I'm planted, send your water, watch me bloom. Guide my steps, watch my shoes. Change of plans, watch me move. Less of me, more of you. Now that's a bet I can't lose. Guide my steps, I can't lose. Change the plans, I can't lose. Less of me, more of you. Now that's a bet I can't lose. This is your Akuth Wisdom Simone Hadu for your listening ear, and this has been my Candid Wisdom.
Hold up, grab the broom, clean it off, now resume. Who to trust when the dust fill the room? Be my eyes, be my guide through the bloom. Thoughts got me in a pit, no Nakoon. Will I ever get up out of so much doubt got me consumed? When I'm filled, I'm out the muck, Sparta kick back in that tomb. If this is where I'm planted, send your water, watch me bloom. Got my steps, watch my shoes. Change the plans, watch me move. Less of me, more of you. Now that's a bet I can't lose. Got my steps, I can't lose. Change the plans, I can't lose. Less of me, I can't lose. Now that's a bet I can't lose. Ain't no stopping, I'ma pop it to the end. That your hootie shit, looking to offend. No sin, can't be numbered with them. Only got one shot for the win. We callin', I'm all in. All I got for the bin. Where you been? Running down on your who are. I bet it again and again. Forevermore, grateful, take control. Got my steps, watch my shows. Change the plans, Watch me move, less of me, more of you. Now that's a bet, I can't lose. Got my steps, I can't lose. Change the plans, I can't lose. Less of me, I can't lose. Now that's a bet.